477.
With the power of Tandem HR, you are in the fast lane on Main Street with Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs. Now, the champion of networking, the advocate of jobs, the guru of business, your host, Shalom Klein.
We are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship and business. We talk a lot about business here. You are on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you are there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information you will not want to miss. It's a live show. You could call into the program at 312-642-5600, 312-642-5600. And as a reminder, we are powered by our good friends at Tandem HR, your solution center. Check out their website, tandemhr.com, or give them a call, 630-928-0510. So a jam-packed week indeed, and I'm thrilled to be joined by our first guest on the program, Alyssa Kapasi, who has developed an app in partnership and with the fantastic support of the Allstate Foundation that is helping end child hunger in schools. And Alyssa, I know that there is quite a story behind this, so let's get right to it. Alyssa, thanks for joining us on Get Down to Business.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show, Mr. Klein.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure. So, Alyssa, you are truly a Wonder Woman, and I know that is that might be an overused expression while the movie is hitting box office records, but I certainly think that anybody that's rolling up their sleeves to make an impact deserves that title. Alyssa, what's the story? Why did you decide to make this happen and change the world?
Well, I tutored at an organization called Breakthrough New York. It's an organization that brings together people who want to make an impact in their community through teaching people who are younger than them with people who need assistance academically. And on my first day at Breakthrough, they were serving sandwiches after school. And I asked my coordinator, why are we giving these kids sandwiches? It's been a couple hours since lunch, and it's going to be an hour or two at most before they eat dinner. Are their parents going to be angry that, you're spoiling their appetite? And I'll never forget her response. She looked at me and said, we don't know whether these kids are getting dinner. We don't know whether they're getting lunch. The majority of these kids, their families can't afford to pay, on average, $2.35 for them to receive lunch at school, let alone receive enough food to have a sustainable dinner.
That's incredible. You certainly have identified a very, very important challenge. So you've decided to do something about it. Organization is called Team Fig. Let's start with that right there. What's the meaning behind that name?
So Team Fig is the name we competed under for the Peace First Challenge, which is in tandem with the Allstate Foundation. And so we chose the name Team Fig because we wanted a name that represented what we wanted to bring about in our community. And upon researching it, we realized that figs represented wellness and prosperity. And those were things we wanted to impart on the community. So,
Alyssa, how old are you?
I just turned 17.
Amazing what you're doing. And Team Fig, I know this isn't you alone. I know you have some other wonderful young ladies on the project. Tell us about the team.
So there are 5 of us on the team right now. I'm the leader, so that means I organize everything. I help both the tech side, the media and marketing side, and the business group. And then there is Fiona Shu. She is 16 years old. She handles the majority of our media accounts and marketing. There is Ivy Mao. She just turned 16. She does a lot of the user interface and outreach. There is Maya White. She does a lot of our business development. And we are planning to become a nonprofit organization. So she's handling a lot of that. And then there's Emma Yang. And Maya is 13, and Emma is also 13. Emma does the majority of the program. She's kind of the tech team.
Amazing. So, Alyssa, that is the makeup of Team Fig, and lots of meaning behind that name. As you mentioned, you competed at this Good Starts Young rally, which is hosted by the Allstate Foundation. and I know has been very supportive of the work of Team Fig, clearly addressing a very important challenge. So Team Fig, you pitched an app prototype. You mentioned about the technology. Let's talk about the solution to that challenge. Tell us a little bit about how you are, I guess, changing the world and hoping to end child hunger in schools.
So yes, our goal is to make it so that all children can receive lunch at school, because again, that's oftentimes the only way that they can get sustainable food, which is at school. And we want to do it through an application. So currently, the way that many school districts, school systems work with Pay for Lunch is that a parent or guardian goes online and deposits money into their child's lunch account. And then their child uses their ID card or some other card to swipe, and money is deducted from their meal, and then they get their food. So we want to have a platform that's very similar. We want it to be one where parents can go on and pay for their own child's lunch, but then they have the option at the end to pay it forward. Paying it forward means that they would pay the equivalent of 1 or 2 meals for another child, which would be under $5 for 2 meals for another child in their community. And then money will go towards the registered parent and family and paying towards one of their lunches. The reason why this is different from current systems, which go to pay off debt, school lunch debt, we want it so it doesn't get to the point where people are in hundreds of dollars of school lunch debt. There are districts that have racked up millions of dollars in school lunch debt, and when a child gets into the lunch debt, they can get alternative meals and be shamed by schools for it. So we want to make it so it doesn't get to that extreme and sort of stop it at the heart of it.
Incredible. So I know that you are working to address a challenge, not in one particular school or in one particular school district. What is your vision for what Food for Thought and Team Fig? Where are you hoping the platform to be in 5 years from now?
I'm not sure about 5 years, but I can tell you about our plans for the next 2. During the school year, we want to finish developing an application. Since we know it's going to be handling money transactions, we want to make sure it's as secure as possible. And by the end of this year, we're hoping to also be a nonprofit organization. So any donations, any people who decide to pay it forward can receive tax deductions for it. And then next school year, we're hoping to do a beta test. Basically, that would entail 3 different schools. We're hoping to have varying level of average income of families in 3 different schools. And we're hoping to test it in those 3 schools. If it's a success, then we plan to launch it.
Fantastic. So you and your fellow Team Fig members all attend the same school on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So our show, we are broadcasting here in Chicago, but I know we have listeners to our podcast from around the country. Do you believe that this is a challenge that's impacting folks in all neighborhoods? And are there any stories that you've been hearing from folks out and about in the community that have particularly impacted your passion, your desire to make an impact?
It's a national issue. The School Nutrition Association did a 2015 study, and in it they found that 76% of American school districts had school lunch debt. So the application we're building, we want it to be one that is national. Currently, we're trying to expand our team, actually, to beyond our school, beyond our state, and beyond the East Coast, because we know that this is an application that can help people all across America. No child should go hungry, and no child should be shamed for their family's financial circumstance. So our overall goal is to make it so that as many children as possible can receive the meals that they need at school, and that these children aren't shamed for something that they can't control.
Well, we are quickly running out of time, Alyssa, and I want to make sure, of course, that our listeners know how they can find out more. We'll get to that in a moment. Just real quick, do you have any advice for other young entrepreneurs, folks your age that are out there in high schools around the country that have an idea, whether it's for to make a social impact or even a business idea? What advice do you have for them?
You're often told when you're a child or a teenager that you should wait until you're an adult to enact change and to put your ideas into practice. But I think that with the Peace First Challenge and what working with my friends on this application has taught me is that the best people to address problems that are facing youth are often youth themselves, because we can blatantly understand what's happening. If you have an idea, look online, look around in your community for ways to make it a reality.
That's great advice, Alyssa. That's great advice. We've got about 20 seconds remaining. How can our listeners get involved? Where can they find out more?
Our website is Plans for Renovation, but if you search online for Team FIG or Food for Thought, you can find access to our social media accounts and GoFundMe page.
Fantastic. Search for Team FIG online. You will find a lot about their important and incredible work. Alyssa Kapasi, the founder, one of the co-founders of Team FIG, thank you so much for joining us on Get Down to Business. We'd love to follow your progress and your story, and we certainly will do that in the coming weeks and months ahead. But we've got more information about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Don't touch that dial.